What's going on, Knock Nation? Happy Thursday. Welcome to another great day, y'all. It is a great day to choose joy and a great day to hang out with my friend, Jake Gagain, my twin. Welcome, Jake, to the live stream.
Damn, I missed that energy. There's something that a lot of people can't fake, and that energy is contagious, man. I need that. I need more of that in my life, but I'm happy to be here, brother. Thanks for having me on.
It is such an honor to be with you. I first got started in crypto on a serious level in 2021. And among the content creators that I consumed, you and Pop, you guys were the top two, man. You are an inspiration. You literally helped kick off what I do now, literally for a living. So I can't thank you enough for being you, my twin, Jake Gagain.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to hear that. And that was like a message I always preach too. You know, when I had people on my channel, I was like, guys, I'm a normal guy. I'm doing this. Like, people need to make content online. I was like, I don't care if you're creating crypto content. A lot of people, excuse me if I cough. I'm actually a little bit sick, but we're still grinding through it. We gotta grind. You know, we gotta show up for the people. But I told people, I was like, look, it doesn't matter if you're creating crypto content, cooking content, food eating content, like whatever you do. It's like, escape that 9-to-5 rat race and use the internet. Because if you're a tennis coach, you can teach, 5, 6 people, maybe like 2 to 3 actually in person. But if you're a tennis coach and you give lessons online, you can reach millions of people. If you're a yoga instructor, you can have 20 people in the class, right? But online, you can reach millions of people. So that was one message I always tried to preach to people, is like, create content, and you happen to be one that listen. Now you do this full time. So kudos to you for doing so.
No, man, I can't thank you enough. Man, you are a gift, to the crypto community as a whole. You're an entrepreneur, you're a leader. You represent thousands of people who are influenced by you. I'm one of them. Can we talk about origin story? Like, I want to get into your life, your story, the man behind the mic. Talk to us about where you were born, maybe where you were raised, or you don't have to talk about specifics, or just whatever you want to share about your past.
Talk about everything you want to know. You ask the questions. I'm an open book. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Where do you want to know first? Where I was born?
Let's start with just how you were raised. Like, how were you raised? What's the narrative behind Jake as a kid?
Well, I was, first off, I think it's actually important to know where I was born, because no one knows really. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. The ATL, baby. The ATL, what? Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I was born. I grew up in Woodstock, Georgia, which is like 30 minutes north. So I lived there from 0 to 10. I was raised in a middle-class family, like a middle-class family. Parents were together. Had an older brother. I have 3 older brothers, actually, but one is from my mom and my dad. The other one is from my dad's first marriage. So my dad had me at a very, very old age. May he rest in peace. He had me at 47, but he had his first kid at, I believe, 21. So I always had, an older dad, but I had 3 older brothers. So 2 half brothers, Eddie and Scott, and then my actual brother, Brendan. But I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, lived there for about 10 years. Like Georgia, but when we were about 10, when you're 10, you're kind of developing friends. You're still so young. I think I was in 4th grade. So I had like my elementary school friends, but I remember sitting down at dinner one night, and my dad comes in, he goes, guys, how do you feel about moving to Florida? As if we had a choice, right? And I remember, and I was like, well, Dad, I was 10 years old. I was like, I don't want to leave. I remember crying, and we ended up moving to Florida. So we moved to Tampa, Florida at about 10 years old. And that's where I really grew up, I would say, right? Because like 10 to 18 is when you really grow up. That's when you really kind of become a teenager. That's when you turn 13. That's really when you become an adult as well. So grew up in Florida, and growing up, like I said, I lived a pretty good life. I had good parents that were together. I had good friends, went to good schools. And I think one thing that I always did that kept me out of trouble was playing sports. Every year round, because I lived in Florida, it was always summertime, right? Playing sports, playing baseball. And I think from a young age, that really developed my work ethic.
Let's talk about that. So like, what were you passionate about? What were you excited about? What were you looking into or getting into as a kid? Was it sports, or were you just forced to do that?
I think I liked doing it. I was good at it. I played baseball. I got a college scholarship to play baseball at University of Kansas. So I was good at it. I liked it. I was good. My friends did it. It was what we did. But also, growing up, I also like to have fun too. I had 3 older brothers, but really one that lived with me. He was 3 years older. So unfortunately, when you're the younger sibling, and I think this happens to a lot of people, you do what your brothers does, right? So my brother was in ninth grade, as you know, and like in high school or whatever, people start drinking or people start smoking weed, and we would hang out with my brother's friends. So I was young. I got introduced into the party scene very, very, very young, which was a good and bad thing. It taught me how to grow up quickly, but definitely we got introduced. Me and my buddies, Will, had older brothers that hung out. We would hang out with them. We got introduced to partying, very, very young.
That's crazy. Do you have a story? You have a crazy story from like partying in middle school?
First time I ever got drunk was at my bar mitzvah. I was 13. I think I might have still been 12 when I had my bar mitzvah. I think I did it early, but let's just say I was 13. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, this Jewish grandmother, feeding me and my friends at 12 years old and 13 years old Jack and Cokes. Like, she would literally, like, we had a party. It was my bar mitzvah party, and it's a big celebration for a Jewish person, right? It's when you're celebrating your bar mitzvah, you become a man. But we just had this code. She would go get a Jack and Coke, and she just kind of walk by and hand it to us. Me and my friends would go back and sip it, sip it, sip it. So the first time I ever got drunk was at my bar mitzvah party, 12 years old, and I think that's a pretty funny story. But now I look at, like, at the time, when you're 12, you kind of feel like you're old. You're 13, like you feel like you have awareness to you, right? You're not a baby anymore. But like now I look at 13-year-olds and I'm like, dude, my grandma was giving us alcohol at that age. Like, that is young, but also at the time, coolest grandma ever. But now I'm like, damn, Nani, like that was it's a little bit young, It's 13's young.
Dang, Nani, that's crazy.
Come on, Nani.
So when you were in school, did you say to when you were growing up, did you say to yourself, when I grow up, I'm gonna get into crypto? Like, what were you trying to do when you were a kid? Was it sports? Like, what was your career path?
I don't think I ever knew. Obviously you wanted to be like the thing about me is, like, dude, I remember when I was like 7, I always wanted to do something big. I always knew I was going to do something big, and I don't think I've reached that pinnacle yet. But I remember, like, when I was 7, I tried writing my own book. Like, I was like creating a novel and writing a book about some like doctor reality story, right? Like, and after that, it's like I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, and I wanted to be a doctor. I remember, you would take these like personality tests in middle school and elementary school, and I remember thinking, like, I don't know what I want to do, right? And I don't think it was up until even now. It's like, this is what I'm doing now. I make crypto content online now, but I don't even know what I want to do long term. Like, am I going to do this forever? I don't know. I think it always changes, But I think one thing that I've learned is through experience, right? I played baseball through college. That was my job. There was a time, and we'll talk about this in this episode, where I was like, oh, I don't want to play baseball anymore. We'll chat about that. And then I got into sales, and I was like, oh, well, let's try to sell stuff. And I was working in the cannabis space for a while. Don't even smoke weed. Never really liked weed, but my brother did it, and he got me a nice salary job and a nice, job right out of college. So I was doing that. And then that sales job took me to a tech sales job. And I think the most important thing is it's not really about knowing what you want to do. Some people are blessed with that, right? Some people are like, I want to be an emergency room doctor. Like my niece, she's in medical school right now. She's wanted to be a doctor since the day she was born, right? Like, it's crazy. She's wanted to be a doctor. She's had her sights set on that. She went to school for that. She did all her practices for that. She's interned for that. She's going to be a doctor, right? For me, I had no idea. So I've learned through experience. I'm like, oh, let's do sales. Let's do cannabis sales. Oh, I like sales, but I don't really like selling cannabis. Let's try tech sales. Oh, I like sales. I've learned a lot of experience, but I don't really like doing tech. And now we're doing this, right? I realized that I like the art of selling. And although I'm on camera right now and talking, I'm not necessarily selling a product, but technically you're selling yourself, right? People are watching your content, consuming your content. You're entertaining. So I to answer the question, it's like, no, I still don't even know what I really want to do. I know you get to do something. I found what I like to do, which is create content, be creative, talk online, like talk shit with my friends. Like, I enjoy this. This is fun. This is work. This is my job, right? Talking to Henok on a live stream. It's incredible. So I think I'm still figuring it out, and there's still a lot to be done. I'm still keeping my eyes on certain things that I might want to do in the UFC space. I'm keeping my eyes on certain things I want to do in real estate. Obviously I like to go to music festivals and events. So the show is just beginning for me.
Yeah. Dude, you are one of the most prolific content creators in crypto. Talk to us about that first YouTube video. Like, what made you decide to start creating content? What led you to this? How did you view content creation before you started creating? And then what's life been like? Just talk about the story of Jake Gagain and content creation.
So this was when I was working in tech sales. I was working at my job. I just started. San Francisco went into lockdown during COVID on March 15th or March 16th, 2020, right? I signed my offer letter for a new tech job for a new industry. I came from cannabis to tech sales on March 15th. The day before we went into lockdown, I signed my offer letter. And so I started a new job, new industry, new employees, new systems, right? Using Salesforce and all these different technology tools online during the pandemic. So I worked in there for 3 months, cold calling people in Colorado, 80 calls a day. And they'd be like, yo, stop calling me. We're in a pandemic. We're not even in our office. And I was selling these like high tech security cameras. And I did that for 3 months straight. And my manager was like, you got to keep calling. You got to keep calling. Dude, I was so miserable. I was stuck in this apartment, literally locked in, so much fear, especially in San Francisco during March, April, May of 2020. And I remember thinking like, bro, I cannot do this. I didn't even have any money in the bank. Like I literally had less than $10,000 to my name. I was like, I can't do this. Like I was literally about to just end it all. Not seriously, but it was just like my mental health was just so bad, right? So I was like, bro, I'm 25. I've never done anything for myself. My whole life, I've literally played baseball my whole life. Like I need to do something for myself. So I called my brother, God bless his soul. And I was like, hey man, I'm going to quit my job. Like I can't live in San Francisco. Can I come live with you? He's like, yeah. I literally slept in this dude's bed, literally like with my brother. Like he's an OG. He's like, yeah, come down here, come sleep, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Slept in his bed for 6 months with my brother. Like nice guy for letting me do that. King bed guys, by the way. And I was like, I need to do something for myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. And I started a podcast. And my first episode of my podcast is literally like this, recorded like this. I was like, hey, this is the first episode of my podcast. I know if I get started, I'll get going. So here's episode 1. Thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for more. And then from there, I got a microphone. Then from there, I actually created a thumbnail. And then I had guests on. And my podcast was really about interviewing like entrepreneurs and CEOs. And I had meditation coaches on there. And I was just interviewing people that I was like attracted to, right? Like people that I found interesting. And then one day, and keep in mind, this podcast had about like 20 or 30 views at most on every episode, right? Like I think the most had like 100 views, right? And I did it for a year. And there were so many times that I wanted to quit, Henok. I wanted to quit so many times. I'm like, dude, no one's listening to this. No one cares what I have to say. Like, I'm going to quit. And then one day I had my buddy Amir Zendenham on and we talked about crypto. And this was before the bull run really started. Like this was December 2020. Like Bitcoin was all-time high at 20K, right? Before it made its massive run up. Ethereum was like at 1500 before it made its massive run up. And I was like, dude, this is like super exciting. And I already own crypto, and we can maybe get into my crypto story if you want a little bit later. But I already own crypto. I had crypto, but I wasn't talking about crypto. And I was like, this is exciting. So I did that podcast. And then I ended up buying a token, an NFT token called Ecomi. And it was at, let's just say 20 cents. And I purchased it, right? And then like a week later, it pumped all the way up to like a penny or whatever it was, or $1. And I remember thinking like, no one knows how to buy this token. And I was like, all right, let me make a video on this, right? So I made a YouTube video, no camera, no microphone, just my screen sharing. And it was how to buy the Ecomi token. It got 1,000 views. I was like, 1,000 people watched my video? I was like, let me make another one. So I made another video, got like 1,200 views. I was like, dude, what? I'm like, let me make another one. I was like, holy shit, people are like interested in this, right? Because I'm coming from a podcast space where 30 people listen. Now thousands of people are watching my videos. And then from there, just kind of, I started live streaming. I was doing live streams every night, and there was hundreds of people watching. And then I remember I found Shiba Inu back in the day before it was even Shiba Inu. And I made a video and it got like 50,000 views. I was like, what is going on? And then from there, it just kind of snowball effect, if you will. It's like Shiba Inu led me to Saitama. That's kind of where we connected. You remember those streams we were streaming every night, and that kind of led me to, talking about other tokens and quitting my job and doing it full time. And here we are today, February 9th, still streaming every single day, 9 a.m. PST, doing Twitter Spaces every day. And it's my job, and I enjoy it now.
Yeah. When did you know, like, when did you go from, because I remember the feeling of like, man, this is cool, whatever. And then I remember that switch to like, no, this is like, this could be a business. This could be viable. This could be a lot more than just, this is cool. When did that happen for you? What led to that moment?
I don't know if it was like a moment. I remember there was times where, you can see your YouTube revenue online. And like, I was like, wow, like I'm making like close to what I make at my work for 40 hours a week. And then there was like 1 month where like my YouTube revenue just like 5x'd my job. That was a 6-figure job, right? Like I was like, dude, this is insane. Like maybe I could do this full time. And then I think I got lucky. I started at a good time. It's a little bit of luck, hard work, and skill. Definitely like there's some luck and timing in there, right? Because if you start right now, there's not much attention. It's going to be hard to really grow. I launched, I rode the bull run, right? So like my investments, I did really well on my investments. Certain tokens I talked about uh, went from 0 to top 100 tokens, right? And I had a lot of support from communities, and it just it just was a perfect storm, you know. And like because certain tokens I talked about had so much attention, my following and my channel size grew, and I'm very grateful for all of that. You know, very grateful for everybody that supported me and the tokens that I've talked about. But I don't know if it was just a moment. I think there it just kind of happened, you know, it just kind of happened where I was like, oh shit, I can leave my job. Like I have done well enough of my investments and I'm growing enough as a content creator. Like I don't need to work at this 9 to 5 anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was fun to watch. I started consuming your content. I had this, and I still have a picture of it. This random avatar of like Sasquatch, and that was my Twitter. Like it literally said at Henok Crypto, and it was a Sasquatch avatar, and I had like 8 followers. Which, by the way, there are guys in this freaking chat right now who knew that Henok before I launched anything. So Marcelino, Beatstar, who's in this YouTube comments
Beatstar,
right now.
shout
Yeah,
out.
DeMichael. These are the devs of Notion Token launching later this year. I'm excited about that project.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I just it's so crazy to go from like being a bystander, watching your content, watching what you did, leaving your job, going full time, betting on yourself, being an entrepreneur. What's it been like since then? And we'll get into crypto in a second. But what's it been like? Full time content creator, full time entrepreneur, having the freedom. There's a lot of people watching and listening that are dreaming of being able to quit their job and fire their boss. What's it like?
Yeah, I think it's something that everyone needs to do. And like I always preach that message. It's like whether it's content creation or crypto or whatever it is, it's like your goal as a human, unless you love your job, but like your goal should be to work for yourself, right? That's the most important thing. Cause it's like, dude, my job was good. It was easy. You know, it's like I was lucky. I was working, 40 hours a week, but it was during COVID still. Like we weren't in the office. So I was able to like work online and then do YouTube videos and make tweets and stuff. I was working hard and I was doing well. I had a lot of success, but you still have those, you still have those meetings that you have to attend. You still have like the manager that's crawling up your back. And mine wasn't too bad at all. He was actually a pretty nice guy, but you need to work for yourself. You need to find a way to do it. And most people get so lost in our generation where they're like, oh, I need to, quit my job, or I need to have my back against the wall and then I'll do it. It's like, dude, work, make money. Like you need to make money to live. You need to make money to have a good life. Like have your job. If you guys are watching this right now, you might work 9 to 5, whatever your job is. Find something that you really enjoy. Like I said, it could be baking, it could be making cat videos, it could be making memes, it could be making curated content, it could be making music. Work your job, make your money, and then you have a lot of spare time. Work on your craft there. And probably you should try to find a way to put it online because people can consume it. So I think that everyone needs to fire their jobs, right? If you're working at a Starbucks, there's nothing wrong with that. We need these jobs too. And honestly, too, I should say, like, some people don't want to be an entrepreneur. Some people are happy being, a 9 to 5 employee because you do need those jobs. Like, there's 8 million people. But if you are the type A personality, you do want to fire your boss, like, find a way to do so. It's the best decision that you'll make in your life is working for yourself, having free time, and ultimately taking that leap of faith.
That's awesome, and it's encouraging to watch guys like you. I hope people are watching and listening and getting inspired. Let's talk about crypto. How in the world did you get into crypto, my man?
2016 is when I first heard about it. I was at University of Kansas sitting in class, and like I always was trying to find a way to make money. I was always trying to find a way to, like, I was like, what can I invest in? I was getting student loans from school, and I was like, they give you like 8 to 10K at once, and I'm like, how do I put 2K in to turn into 100K? Do I put it in Apple? Do I put it in Disney? I wish I would have found Tesla stock back then. And I remember seeing Bitcoin around $1,000. It's like, what the hell is Bitcoin? Like, what is Bitcoin? And I started to do my research on Bitcoin, learn about it. Didn't put it in at $1,000, but in 2017, I downloaded Coinbase. It was October 4th, I believe, 2017, when I bought my first Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think Ethereum was at $300. Bitcoin was at like $3,100. So a great deal, right? Great price. And I would just put in money every single day. And this was when I left Kansas. I moved back to Long Beach. I was working at an athletic club, making like $10 an hour, not making really anything at all. And I remember there was times, and I can say this now because my dad passed away, rest in peace, but I would call my dad and be like, hey, Dad, I need money for rent. I'm not going to make my rent. And he would send me like, a couple $1,000s at a time. I'd keep some of it, put some away, and invest the rest into Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I was like, either I'm an idiot or it's going to pay off and it ended up paying off. So I found about it that way. I was just learning about it. I was like fascinated. I was like, wait, hold on. Like you can transfer crypto like to another person without going through a bank. It was like, it was just stuff that like was like, I was like, this is probably going to be the future, you know? And then I held my crypto all the way through 2017 into 2018. The bear market didn't take any profits. Like I turned like a little bit of money into a lot. Like I thought I was balling, you know? And held it all the way through, crashed down and rode through that first bear market. Really, like I did what most people do now, which is get away from crypto. Didn't look at it, you know, got offline, wasn't interested in it. If I saw stuff on crypto, I'd be pissed about it, you know. But I held, which was the smartest thing I did. And then 2020, I considered selling my crypto because the COVID market crash happened. I had like probably $8,000 to $10,000, I don't even know, in crypto. The COVID crash happened, like my crypto turned to nothing, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm going to sell. And then I held through and it pumped to oblivion and I got my interest back then. And it wasn't until like 2021, like when the podcast happened, that I really fully threw myself all the way into crypto, learned about it, you know, started learning about DeFi, started learning about meme coins, NFTs, etc. And that's kind of where we're at today. I'm definitely not an expert by any means, but definitely learned quite a bit more than I did back in the day.
That's awesome, man. It's crazy to watch your journey. It's really exciting, you know, inspiring for a lot of people. I want to talk about the future with you. You know, you did this in your freaking 20s, dude. Like
Yeah.
we are so young, and you've gone further than people that have been in careers for 20 and 30, 40 years in this country. And like, to think like where you're headed in the years and decades to come, what's in your head? Like, what's the vision? Like, what do you want to do in life? What are you trying to build? Where are you trying to go? Like, maybe not all of it, but whatever you're willing to share.
Yeah. I mean, I can share it all. You know, I think for me, it's like I always, like, I have a good intuition and a good gut feeling of like where I'm being guided, you know, and I'm open to all opportunities, right? Like, I'm open to what makes sense. But I think what you really want to do is you really want to use your time wisely, right? Like you really want to make investments that can pay off. Like this is a perfect investment. We got into a great industry, cryptocurrency, where there's a lot of money and a lot of attention, right? And online, I can live stream for an hour and it can reach thousands of people rather than like speaking in person and hit a few. So for me, this is what I'm doing now. I enjoy it. Will I do it forever? I don't know. I think for me, one thing that's always been on my mind is real estate, especially in America. It's like there will always be people that need a place to live. So and it's a great investment, right? And we have opportunities now with Airbnbs and VRBOs and renting out houses where you can make money passively, right? I think that's the goal is passive income. But I'll always be a builder. I'll always be a creator. Like I always need to work towards something and work towards goals. And I'm not sure what that is. I think one day I'll use the platform that I've built to, I guess, start the next business, whatever it could be. But like I have a lot of good connections right now in the UFC, which is my favorite sport. Do I get involved in that and maybe start managing fighters? Potentially. I think I would like that. You know, I think I would like to do so. I like I said, I like music. You know, do I start a music festival? Do I start learning how to DJ? Well, we'll see what happens there. But I think for me, it's like feeling out certain things, you know. It's like you don't have to make a decision now. You don't have to know like I have to do this right now. It's like, look, right now I make crypto content every day. I stream 9 a.m. Every single day. I do Twitter Spaces 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what I'm doing. What else can I do on the side? I'm learning Spanish right now. That's fun. Is it going to bring me any money? No, but is it going to help my brain learn and allow me to meet new people and when I travel to have better conversations? Yes. So it's just taking it one day at a time. You know, I have these different things that I'm kind of feeling out, right, and seeing where it will take me. And ultimately, it's like just making the best decision for what makes sense and what can bring the highest return and what makes you the happiest.
That's awesome, man. It's really inspiring, encouraging to watch. Really your life play out publicly. Okay, let's talk short term. 2023. What are you most excited about? And you could talk about any subject, any genre, business, life, health, crypto, family, content, whatever.
2023, you know, 2022 was a weird year for most people in crypto market. Like we went from pretty much all-time highs to all-time lows, you know. 2022, I took a trip to Europe. I took like a 45-day backpack solo trip through Europe. Best decision I ever made. I was sitting there, I was like, bro, it's a bear market, you know. Like I worked very hard in 2021 at my job, 40 hours, 50 hours a week on YouTube, another 40, 50 hours. All I did was work. And I was like, you know what? You deserve it. you deserve to take a trip. So I took like a little mini vacation, and I think that's part of life. It's like you have seasons where you need to work, you have seasons where you need to rest, you have seasons where you need to try new things, right? So I think in 2023, what I'm most excited about is getting back to working. Like I enjoy it, you know. Even right now, like I'm sick. I'm actually sick, like congested. I don't know if you can hear it. Feel like shit. Bad cough, and like I'm still streaming every day, right? Like I like doing this. You know, I stream with some good friends. I'd love to stream with you more often too, if like if we do streams. So I have Rodney on. I have other people that come on the show all the time, and I think 2023 is the season to really work, you know, and to grow and to build and to meet new people and to travel and just to live life, you know, because we see it right now with the earthquake in Turkey. Like anything can happen, bro. Like 5,000 plus people died when they were expecting to live. They were expecting to wake up and live, right? So just enjoying life, you know, like that's my goal. Being a good person, enjoying life, spending it with people you love. And I think also too, like what makes me happy is growing and working. It's important for me to like continue to work and to work towards something is like very important to me.
That's awesome, man. Man, thank you so much for sharing. Anything in crypto you're excited about? Anything you see coming down the pike 2023?
I mean, the bull run, right? We gotta, we gotta be excited about that. You know, seeing how the markets pick back up. I think it will uh, pick back up slowly here towards the middle to end of the year. But there's a lot of good projects, you know, that I'm excited about. You know, a lot of projects in the DeFi space. Most of my investments are in the top 15, I would say, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Cardanos, the XRPs. But there's a lot of good projects in the meme coin space. That's most of the content that I make is in the meme coin space because there's so much attention. So I like what's happening with Volt, with Colt, with Vent. There's a lot of good projects out there. MetaMonkey AI, and I know Apollo Crypto DAO is up to some big things
Hey,
too.
hey, Apollo, man, don't do it, man. I'm excited about those guys. They just announced they're going into gaming, and it's funny because it's like they've been building games for companies like the WWE and Nike and Super Bowl champions like DeMarcus Ware since the '90s. So they're
Smart.
going into gaming, but they're doing what they've done. They literally have a gargantuan. People don't know this. They're in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. That's how I met these guys. It's why it's like I only trust very few people in crypto. I can physically go to their office, see all their employees. Like the name of their company that they built is on the side of a huge building. It's called Bottle Rocket here in Dallas. And so to see them get back in their bag and do what they've always done, they've got a game coming out this summer. So I'm stupid. Don't say the word Apollo. I get excited. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, I mean they're going back to their roots as they should. You know, it's like they came into crypto. They had the creator fund, which was a good idea, but you know they're now like, hey, let's switch, and that's what you need to do in crypto. It's like, I mean, how many tokens do we know? I know a lot of tokens that I covered that started as A, and now they're XYZ, and they're pumping. You know, they're doing big things. So it's like you don't have to. Like I started making content about people like CEOs and entrepreneurs. Now I do crypto content. Like you have to be willing to make changes, you know? So
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they're getting back to the roots and I think they're going to have a lot of success as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. And listen, man, you embody evolution, right? The idea of growth and development. You embody that your career, your life, your health. I mean, you were gonna, play ball one day and now you're an entrepreneur and doing incredible, huge things. Watching you at these UFC fights, watching you with these celebrities. Dude, I salute you. And I hope everyone in Knock Nation follows you at Jake Gagain on Twitter, subscribes to your YouTube channel. Jake, ladies and gentlemen, Jake is a well that I drink from. This man offers nothing but positivity, encouragement, motivation, information, and I just can't commend him enough. Jake, any final words?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Knock Nation. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I want to ask about the wallet, baby, because dude, I got respect for you for fucking, because it's tough to make content every day. And even when your wallet's like, because you were up to like 3+ million down in the 100Ks. And I was like, damn, this dude's still making content. But that, like, those videos are going to be so worth it. You know, like when
Woo!
you get back up to the millions, like, you're going to look back and it's going to be so worth it. Like, it's cool that you're documenting it every single day, no matter what. What are your predictions, man, for the wallet? Like, are like, how are you feeling about it going into 2023, 2024, 2025?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we go up from here. I think we've seen crypto bottoms. I do. I think our next leg up is around the corner, and yeah, I'm really excited about the content side of the portfolio. It's really it's one thing if you launch and you just hit green and you go all the way to the top really quickly. There's something beautiful. It's really tough, right? It's emotionally, psychologically,
Yeah.
spiritually difficult to grind and be consistent and literally have tens of thousands of. I get about 1 million views on YouTube Shorts and TikTok every single day. And so they're able to see my content, my other crypto content as well. It's a lot of entertainment content, but they also see my crypto content. So to literally expose millions of people to what looks like a loss and the criticism that I get every day relentlessly, it gets tiring at times. That's the God honest truth. But like you just said, there's a version of Hanok that exists later in 2023 and especially in 2024. And that Hanok is thanking this Hanok for the discipline, the consistency, the intestinal, spiritual, psychological fortitude to hodl for dear life. And the story, the documentary, the narrative, the book that's going to be written that could impact millions of people's down the road is worth the sacrifice and the pain that I'm going through, that we are going through today. And I know that that's not just my story, that's everyone's story, that everyone's listening right now is trying to overcome adversity. Everyone's carrying some kind of weight, whether it's financial distress, mental health issues, spiritual, gaping holes or relational issues. And it's about getting through the grind. It's about getting and overcoming the obstacles and the barriers. So for me, man, knowing what's coming down the road helps me stay rooted and disciplined and go through the grind today. And for those reasons, I'm crazy excited about what's to come.
I love it. Yeah, that's what I think every time I see the video. I'm like, yo, this will go back, and like you're gonna look back on these videos and be like those were tough times. You're gonna be feeling like, just like when I look at your videos that were like 3+ million. You're feeling really good. You turned a million to 3, and it's the same thing. It's like it's a metaphor for all of us that are in crypto, because we all feel that way. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Hovey, we got Beatstar, we got Marcelo, we got Crypto Art, we got Stevie Crypto, DJ Freshman, Beatstar, Preston Pratt, Gin Token. The whole squad is in here, guys. Sorry, just clicked on the comments tab for the first time, but we appreciate you in here joining us here today.
We love you guys. And I want to give a special shout out to a community member, Preston Pratt Jr. He put this out on Twitter yesterday, so I feel comfortable talking about it. Preston, if I'm out of bounds here, just DM me later. I want to ask those of you who pray to go ahead and pray for his daughter. She just got diagnosed with, I believe, a second cancer on top of the first.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken about the cancer part, but I'm pretty sure I'm right there. So just be praying for him. Anyone in the crypto community that hurts, we are one community. I don't care what project you represent or what you're shilling. At the end of the day, it's humanity. And so, man, Preston, we salute you, praying for you, your family. And I'm looking forward to hopping on a call with you here soon. And man, we support you, brother. And just let me know, DM me anything we can do to help you, your family during these troubled times. And that really goes for everyone as well.
Yeah, prayers to you, Preston. He's been supporting my channel for a long time, so I had no idea about that. Prayers to you and your daughter, and we're hoping everything works out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, Knock Nation, thank y'all so much for being here. Jake Gagain! It's Jake Gagain in the house! Can you believe this? Jake Gagain, my twin! I love you, my guy, and I can't wait to see you soon, my man.
We'll see you soon, brother. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for everybody for your support. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much.
Peace.